Good morning, everybody. Eureka John with Eureka Street Crypto Hub, broadcasting live from Leander, Texas. It is 6:44 in the morning on September 11th, 2021, and I'm broadcasting live on Theta TV like I do every single morning. I haven't missed a beat since February 6th, and I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. I've been doing this channel since October 24th, 2020, and this has been a really fun experience. Good morning, Randy. Thanks for jumping on. And I wouldn't trade this experience for anything. I'm not shilling any tokens, and I'm not your financial advisor, and I'm not your teacher, man. So don't hold me responsible in case anything bad happens to you in the crypto space. But I'm just here to talk about my experiences in crypto and from everything that I discover, and I make it a point and a discipline to read at least a couple articles every single day and talk about them the next morning. And I do this in the morning because this is my little time when the house is quiet and the little the mini zombies are asleep upstairs, and before my whole family is woken up and I have to be a dad, a friend, an employee, a husband, or whatever else I need to be during the day. That has not turned on yet. Right now, this is my time, and this is my time to hang out in the crypto space. And as a result, in the crypto space, I've met lots of really cool and interesting people so far, and I've started doing some interviews, and it's been really cool. I've gotten a lot of cool projects and information, and just some upfront information, some cool hints about some interesting projects, and some things I never would have thought about before, and just some viewpoints of life from perspectives I also would never have thought about before. So I can't emphasize enough how amazing and important it is to reach out there beyond yourself and just see what else is out there. And this is my attempt to do so from behind my computer screen. So let's take a quick look at the crypto market. We have Bitcoin at $45,726, and we're in a healthy, nice little retrace. And Ethereum at 3,303. I did buy a little of both yesterday, just to dollar cost average. I'm not an investor and I'm not a trader. I don't think I can outsmart the market, and I didn't know anything about finance or any of this type of stuff before I got into crypto. I did have a little bit of web development experience and stuff like that, but yeah, this this is a whole new world, and it is for a lot of people, and a lot of people are jumping into this space. They're aping in, I think that's the word, and being a Chad about it. I'm an old guy, so I'm trying to learn what the kids are saying these days. But yeah, I'm just kind of going in head first here and just learning as much as I can. And I've come across some really cool projects, and one of these projects is not quite yet here on CoinGecko, but it will be very, very soon. And I talked about this, I believe, last week or maybe the week before, something like that, briefly. And since I talked about it, it stood out to me, and it was referred to me by somebody else saying, "Hey, man, check out this cool project." Again, participating in this crypto space, there's always word of mouth that gets around. And so, just like Elizabeth Warren says, who do you trust more, the shadowy supercoders or the big banks? Well, honestly, I trust the shadowy supercoders more, because this word of mouth gets around. Everybody builds each other up. If you're a bad project, somebody will know about it and somebody will talk about it, and so that's exactly what's kind of happening here. Somebody referred me to this cool project, and this cool project, in a way, sits there and brings out some of the bad projects to spread the word, and to also act as a warning to potentially bad projects, like, you don't want to end up on our project. So anyway, I'd like to introduce Easy from Rug Zombie, which is the project we'll be talking about today. And let me go ahead and bring him to the screen. 1 second. Let me get this up. Okay. All right. Good morning, Easy. Thanks for jumping on with me this morning. I know it's early for you, me, and everybody.
Hey.
So I hope
How's
that
it
was
going,
okay
man?
introduction for you, to kind of.
It's perfect, man. It's perfect.
So welcome to the show.
You don't want to end up on our site, that's for sure. That says something.
Yeah. So what Rug Zombie is, and I'll put it in my words, then I'll let you say. Okay,
Sure.
so Rug Zombie. So first of all, let me kind of say what a rug is. The rug pull is. It's whenever you invest in a project and there's maybe a lot of hype around it or a lot of good advertising, good marketing, and you jump in, you're like, oh, this sounds like a great idea, and you put money in the project, then all of a sudden, the devs or a bunch of significant whales decide to pull their money out and run after you have put your money into some kind of farm or liquidity pool or something. Then the coin value drops to absolute zero, and you're stuck holding this bag of this worthless tokens. Is that about right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. There's a few different rugs you can experience. Like there used to be, I call it the era of the hard rug, where the developers would write features into the code that would be exploitable. So the famous one is the migrator code. This is a line of code that allows you to move liquidity from one place to another. And essentially what developers were finding is that, oh, I can exploit that feature to move the liquidity from maybe a pool to my wallet.
Huh.
And so developers were using that feature in order to, obviously exploit and take advantage of their users. And so that moved us to this era of the no migrator code era, where people were famously letting everyone know they don't have a migrator code.
Huh. Okay.
And so what ended up happening is they would find another iteration of rug pulling people ended up being something like honeypotting, where that's where you essentially there's a backdoor to where you can siphon out. People can deposit their money in, but they can't take it out. But all of these things were things written into the code, and so we'd call them hard rugs because they're like hard coded. Mm-hmm. But we're now in the era of what's called the soft rug. And the soft rug is a little bit harder to detect, because what happens is these developers will create multiple wallets. They'll buy a lot of the initial supply, or they'll siphon off some of their treasury funds into these wallets. And whenever the token price gets where they want it, they'll just dump all of their bag. And so obviously that depresses the price nearly down to, not necessarily down to zero, but it pushes the price down enough. And there's no more development activity happening on the project, so they leave it for dead.
Okay.
And they're getting more and more creative, but what's ended up happening is now we have this. We're living in the time of distrust on Binance Smart Chain, on Polygon, where you must go in assuming everything is a rug, and that's probably good practice to have, is assume this is a scam and do your own due diligence on it. But that's actually led to some unintended consequences as well. Now what people are doing is they're actually removing these features from the code. Like good developers are they're like locking liquidity, they're burning their wallet addresses, they're doing all of these things to say, look, we can't access these funds. And that's a good effort. At the same time, when PancakeSwap decides to upgrade to a version 2 and you don't have the keys to your wallet, so you cannot upgrade your liquidity to a second version, you're stuck on version 1 of Pancake. You've just ruined your project.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So some unintended consequences of all the madness is that a lot of projects are kind of living the principles of this distrust, and it doesn't make for good development. And so it's an interesting time to be in crypto.
Yeah, for sure. And the way you explained it too, they're just kind of like, well, nothing I can do, I don't know if I got caught in a rug or not, but I was in something on Matic, and there's apparently 3 layers to this project.
Yeah, layered farming.
Yeah, and they give everybody 48 hours to hurry up and move their liquidity somewhere else, and if they don't, that too bad, they're out of luck. And I went in saying, hey, I wasn't online. I was online, but I wasn't in that project within that 48 hours, and it happened. And then the dude just started cussing me out and calling me noob and all that stuff. And I guess I could have asked him to manually do it, but I was willing to take the loss. I wasn't. I'm too prideful.
Yeah.
It had some ruggy vibes to it, but it wasn't technically a rug.
Yeah. Well, another problem that leads to, we don't just handle rugs, we deal with hacks and dead tokens as well. So there are some projects we've listed that are not, they had great guys behind the project, they just never took off.
Okay.
And for a lot of these guys, because of the decentralized nature of like the smart chain and for Polygon, anyone can make a project, anyone can build code or copy and paste it. And so you have a lot of inexperience in the space as well, and that can be just as dangerous because
Mm-hmm.
build out they'll build code that really doesn't stand the test of time, or they'll find bugs and exploits them much later, and that can be just as bad of a problem because some projects are dead on arrival because of that.
Interesting.
So we have one that was a farm called Thunderswap, and the developer was actually, he was a nice guy. Like I chatted with him through Telegram. He just didn't, marketing wasn't his strong suit, and it
Uh-huh.
didn't take off. And then before you know it, the emission rate of the number of Thunder tokens being minted every day was getting out of control, and there was just no way for it to recover.
Wow.
So technically, I would call it a rug because the end result was the same. People lost their money,
Yeah, yeah. So it's
like
kind of an
99
unintentional
percent of the
rug.
value.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't believe necessarily that he was intending that from the start, because he put a lot of money into building the project.
Uh-huh.
So
So
you got to be careful about all of it.
yeah, and it seems like you're finding a lot of different nuances between all these different types and styles, intentional, unintentional rugs, soft and hard rugs. And so you created Rug Zombie. Um,
Yeah.
and this basically, kind of like I'm stuck with this bag of useless layer 2 tokens. You
Hmm.
find some kind of redeemable value in this. And I've read on somewhere on there, on through all your blogs and stuff, that I don't know what the amount of in millions or billions of dollars have been lost on rugs are, but if you can recover even 10% of that, that's a lot, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
it would be that would be phenomenal. That would be quite ambitious of us to say we're going to recover 10% or the full value of all of the rugs that have happened.
Okay, so then Zombie, you take these coins and you combine them in a liquidity pool with the dead token, and it generates an NFT.
In a way. So ours, it's really interesting. We obviously, if you have a valueless token, sorry if you hear screaming behind me.
It's all
Somebody's
right.
having fun. It's 6 in the morning here, and there's a party
Hey,
happening.
it's 5 o'clock
Uh,
somewhere.
that's right. You obviously can't get a lot of value from a token that has no liquidity or no worth because they've been rugged, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we can't base the way that we recover value on that rug token. And then also, what we'd be doing is in some ways incentivizing the developers to keep doing that, or to keep doing unsavory things. And so we don't want to do that. So all of our vaults actually have a zombie only mechanism. So
Okay.
the rug token that people use is just to verify that they have it. Technically speaking, you could probably go to the open market and just buy it. Panther Swap is an example. We just listed that grave yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
You could technically still go to their website and buy a Panther token. We don't necessarily recommend that, because
Yeah.
if we're identifying this as a scam or a rug, why would you
That
go?
was gonna be my next
But
question. Like, why would you buy a scam token to participate in
yeah,
these?
but you know what? Honestly, in our Telegram chat, a lot of our users, that's what they're doing. So we've got a feature. We're releasing a feature probably next week or the week after, that's going to allow users to safely swap rug tokens with one another, irrespective of price. So it's more of like a way to trade and a way to have a little fun.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I didn't get rugged by this project, but I'd like to get that NFT. So
Yeah.
they can go over to this feature and they'll be able to do some of that. And it will be in a safe contract that doesn't force you to interact with a website that you don't know. And yeah, we're trying to create a way to make it safe.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna ask because I didn't really want to go buy those tokens, but I noticed on the website there were all these projects that I hadn't participated in any of them. And to be honest, I don't really get on
That's
Binance
good.
Smart Chain that much. Yeah. If I do any type of yield farming, usually it's on Layer 2 Matic,
Yeah, that's right.
Polygon.
Well,
Why did you
you
guys
might see
choose
us over
Binance?
there soon.
Oh, really? Oh, cool. All right. Well, why did you guys choose
Yeah.
Binance to start with?
Well, Binance has been known as they call it the Binance scam chain for a reason. It was kind of before Polygon was, I watched in real time the craze go to Polygon from
Mm-hmm.
Binance Smart Chain.
Mm-hmm.
And so we just simply started there because that's where a lot of the scams are. Now, there's some other chains that are pretty scammy. I hear KuCoin chain has a lot of rugs as well. And so, that's probably the most viable space for us to impact the market is
Mm-hmm.
on the chains that have scams. And so that, I don't know if that's a good or a bad sign, but that's just kind of
That's
where we
funny.
are.
You guys are like, everybody's running the other way, and you guys are going against the crowd. You're saying, well, all
Yeah.
right, we're going to go clean up the carnage. You're like the DeFi
Yeah.
cleanup crew, just coming
That's
and
right. Yeah.
mopping up the scraps. That's so crazy.
We're like the Hoover vacuum of DeFi.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sucking them up.
Yep, like I said at the beginning of the show, you don't want to end up on Rug Zombie.
Yeah, I will
Unless you're
say
the
though,
user.
I will say there's another thing that we're doing as well. We do offer live projects that are not rugs to be emitted from our project. So we have this area called the spawning pools on our website, and this is for live projects to emit a small amount of their token and an NFT as well. And so we've loved all of our partners that we've been working with. They've been really great, but that obviously can become a concern for them at first. Like, hey, you're a project dedicated to recovering scams, or people are going to think we're a scam. And it's been really cool. Our community has been really trusting.
I noticed the difference though. I was on the website and I saw the spawning pools, and I mean, I could clearly tell that they were not, the scam tokens and stuff like that. So I don't think that anybody that really took a good look at the website would confuse the spawning pools with the graves.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
do you want to share your screen and kind of show me and give me a little
Sure.
walkthrough between the graves and the spawning pools?
Sure.
And I noticed you also
Let me,
have single-sided zombie liquidity as well, to where you don't have to have the scam coins, which you just mentioned earlier. And let's take a look at that too. And then how to get the zombie
gonna be
tokens as well. So
Can you see my screen where it has the Rug Zombie page on it?
yes, and that awesome Trump
Great.
deep fake.
Yes, it is a deep fake that is not really Trump, or is it? Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. Maybe he's talking about Rug Zombie.
Yeah. So what you'll see is we have these graves here, and these are for all these dead tokens. This one was the one we just listed, Panther Swap. It's by far been the most exciting one for people.
That's a really cool NFT.
And we always commission incredible art. This one was a very expensive NFT. We have an in-house guy, Josh. He is phenomenal. But sometimes we like to change up the style. And so we tried out this guy, Eyes of Lamia, and he was expensive but worth it because that just looks awesome, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
There was another rug pull Hyrule swap, which I think they had good intentions and then gave up. But still, that you shouldn't do that to your community. But
Yeah, exactly.
kind of a cool one.
Yeah.
That one might be my favorite. And then my other favorite is probably Monster Slayer here. This one looks great.
So it's kind of a cool backdoor way to get maybe some NFTs of some artists that you might follow. And
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, your in-house artist is really cool, and then you had that guest artist, and then you could commission. I mean, who knows? And they could take their following with them and come on to the platform as well, and bring in an entirely new crowd. So yeah,
yeah. And this is
one.
This one is Nightmare Fuel Karen, is what we call her. And if you look at the metadata on the NFT, the quote is, "She would like to speak with your manager," which I love. But these are our live projects, our spawning pools, and I'll just give them some pub right now. Wallet Now is an amazing way to check your what's in your DeFi wallet.
Okay.
You just plug in your wallet address and it populates for you what you have, and you can see your NFTs and all that. Koala is a great DeFi play. They're for conservative farmers. Main Street is relatively new. They're a deflationary token, and what they're trying to do is identify high use case tokens for
Okay.
people, and they've got a lot going on. You should just check them out. Euler Tools, a mainstay. They're great. They what they're doing is they're aggregating a ton of data, and if you talk to Jorge, their CEO, he's probably like he thinks like 5 levels above where I think. He's just brilliant.
Euler. I
And
love
then
that
GFi,
that
this
NFT.
one. Oh, you like this one?
Euler.
Euler. Yeah. Okay. So you got it.
Yeah,
A lot
course.
of people
I'm
didn't
old.
catch that one. And then GorillaFi. This was a deflationary token that actually was birthed out of a rug. And what was cool about it is their developer. He kind of he's on our team with Rug Zombie. But he started that token because they got rugged by another project, and he said, "What if we just take over and launch this as a community project?" And they did it.
Huh.
And it's been relatively successful for them, and we just thought that was an awesome story, and it kind of knit our souls together a little bit. So we said, hey, let's make that the first spawning pool, because it kind of fits our MO of like resurrection, bringing things back to life.
Yeah. And I also see you're kind of accelerating or incubating projects as well. So it's more than just resurrection too, right?
Yeah, all of our spawning pools, these are partners. We intend to go deeper with every single partner that we've listed there, because we've probably spent like $1,000 total on marketing, which in the crypto space, that is a penny.
Yeah.
That's not very much. And the reason we can get away with it is because we've been building these partnerships with people and trying to work with these projects and say, hey, how can we benefit each other? How can we promote each other? And they benefit from getting exposed to our users. We benefit the same from theirs.
Mm-hmm.
And my thought is, why don't we just let what we're doing stand for itself?
Yeah.
And I think if we could get eyes on it, people will like what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And if we provide a good, safe project for people to be a part of, they'll come over.
Absolutely.
So we don't, if you have a project that has a utility, you really don't have to sell people on it. What you'll see on these shill groups and these Telegram groups is people going in and saying, hey, it's a new deflationary token. It's got a 12% tax that redistribute, and like they're all doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So none of them really stand out from one another. And
you learn the framework of a lot of these yield farms and all that stuff. They all start to look like carbon copies of each other, and it took a while for me to learn the framework and learn how to navigate them, but once I did, I could easily hop from one to another. But you're right, there's not a whole lot of difference, and then it's hard to distinguish which ones are the good ones and bad ones until it's too late.
Yeah. Well, that's why Panther Swap was our most recent grave that we listed. But what was interesting is that it started with phenomenal success, because what they were doing was iterating on the yield farming experience. I think what they were trying to do was there was a tax implemented on every sell, buy and trade, that would raise the liquidity floor. So the token price would always be being pushed up. However, that's almost just kind of a gimmick, because if you're emitting 75 tokens per block, the supply, that's like the most that I've heard of.
Yeah.
Pancake's emissions are like, I think 20 or 30 at this point. So you're doing almost double that.
Yeah.
And so if you don't control your emissions, then it doesn't matter how much liquidity is, like, because it's being diluted constantly.
Yeah, I was reading through your blog on let's see, rugzombie.medium or medium.rugzombie.
Yeah.
And it's just interesting and fascinating to go down through all those different cases, and you create a little story about each one, and they're really entertaining stories. But I love it. It's almost acting as kind of a historian project, and you're kind of
Hmm.
archiving a lot of these projects on the web that a lot of people may just forget about, and you're like, nope, we are immortalizing this as a reminder
Yeah,
for what happened.
that's a you'll have to stay tuned, but we've got some thoughts on that, on creating the history of the rug pull and DeFi. There's some great projects doing the identification side of things. Like, hey, here's a rug, or Rug Doc is one of them. What they're
Mm-hmm.
doing is they essentially show people the risk factors related to certain projects.
Okay.
What we're doing is more of a post-mortem, like, hey guys, let's eulogize this project,
Mm-hmm.
talk about what happened. Um, so we really come in after,
Yeah.
not necessarily beforehand.
Well, you're retrieving value through the NFT as well, through these, and then the more renowned artists you get, the higher the value of the tokens will be, and then who knows, somebody might actually end up making money off of out of their initial investment instead of just recovering
Yeah,
later.
yeah. Can I talk about that for a sec, because
Absolutely,
I'm
yeah,
passionate about this.
yeah.
Utility is the name of the game. So I think most people, the common low hanging fruit is NFT equals art to
Yeah.
them. And in our platform, of course, you're getting NFTs that look really rad.
Mm-hmm.
So if it were just a collector's item, you're getting some good quality stuff. So in some ways, you're rescuing value just by getting a collector's item that is really cool looking. But that's not the end of the utility. These We're going to have a secondary market for people to buy, sell, and trade there's Rug Zombie NFTs, and what that will do is allow people that, because we already have one that people are raving about. His name is Chompers, and it was from Auto Shark when they got exploited, which they are a very much alive project, and they are just crushing it. We love Auto Shark, but what they were gracious enough to work with us on that one. And there's only, like, I think 130 of these NFTs minted, and so people that don't have it are just begging, can I get one?
Yeah.
So I think that they're going to be valuable for that in that way. But then more than that, what people think we are right now, people think that we're, some people come in thinking we're a farming platform, which we do allow people to get a certain yield in Zombie.
Mm-hmm.
They think that we're an NFT platform once they start to understand what we're doing,
Yep.
and we are. But what we're really doing is we're a gaming platform. We're just not there yet, and people
Okay.
don't know that. So everybody in our project right now, they don't realize how early they are.
Okay. So, can you elaborate on what you mean by gaming platform?
Sure. Yeah. The NFTs that we have are essentially operating as core NFTs or component NFTs to be used in a deck building game that we're going to be releasing early next year.
Okay, to get a little
So
technical, is this kind of like the ERC 998 where you can build on to one core NFT that is the 721 at base?
we haven't quite decided so there's a few technical reasons why we haven't made a decision
Okay.
on that specific mechanism, because we want people to be able to retain the NFT that they have,
Okay, I see.
and that there's just a lot that we're processing through for that. So, but I will say the game is like 95% of the mechanics are completed. Now we're about to move into a round of like beta testing and alpha testing to get some of the balance right on the
Mm-hmm.
initial release of the game. But the NFTs themselves are going to be the access that our users have to certain cards. And so
Okay.
I want you to imagine that you have Chompers, this NFT that only 129 other people have. And it's this card that is really good and strategic in the game. Well, what I've done now is I just have in my wallet an NFT that not only is cool, not only is rare, but is highly desirable for the game.
Okay.
So people are going to want that. And so the value increase to the NFTs is going to be pretty massive, I think, because people are going to want hey, I want to play with that card. And once we introduce a rental market, I think it'll be, yeah, I just think there's going to be a lot that's coming that people don't realize, even in
Nice.
our community.
So the NFT can act as kind of a key to get to the next level, or able to stack up to a certain degree, a person or a player's ability to access other items or other levels of the game.
In a way, it's going to be rather fair the way that our game is played, because it's a deck building game. So if you've
Yeah.
ever played, or if any of your listeners and viewers have ever played Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic the Gathering, any
Yeah.
card game, collectible card game like that, you can imagine something similar to this.
Yeah, I played Magic a long time ago.
Yeah. So Magic is probably, that's the one that I played growing up. So it's probably the closest in my mind to what we're building.
That's cool.
And the cool part about that is the complexity in that is that you don't have to have every card.
Yeah.
You can make do. But if you're going to want to play a certain strategy, or do a certain type of deck, you're going to require certain types of cards. And so we think we're kind of going down the middle of this free to play versus pay to play route.
Nice.
So, what I hope and I expect is that it'll be fair to everyone.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
In that regard,
I think everybody's gotten in one of those online games where they got to a point, like a ceiling, where if they didn't buy gold, there's just nothing that they could do, and they're just getting trounced on.
Mine was Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
Oh, okay.
I to my shame, put more money than I'd like to admit into that game because I just could not compete.
Yeah. Mine was Conflict of Nations.
Conflict of Nations, yeah.
Yeah. So I got to wrap this up here, but there is a POAP to this show. And the POAP stands for Proof of Attendance Protocol. So if you are watching this show, give either me or Easy a DM on Twitter, and I guess that would just go through the Rug Zombie Twitter, and we can send you a link to the POAP. And it's just a little NFT, just a circular little NFT. It's a POAP badge for a proof of attendance. And right now, where we are with POAPs, we use them in the Bankless DAO to show proof of attendance at the meetings and stuff like that. But the way Web3 is going, and the way digital IDs, autonomous IDs for everybody online are going, I think POAPs are going to be a crucial part and another use case for NFTs, and it will almost be kind of building in a resume for yourself to be able to show. And if I ever needed to jump in a new DAO or a new project, all I have to do is just show my library of NFTs that, hey, I have all this experience with DAOs, and I can prove it through my POAPs. And so you can now get a POAP here saying that you have seen this episode, and now you know about Rug Zombie, right?
That's right.
Yeah. So anyway, hit one of us up for the POAPs. We'll each have 50. There's only going to be 100. And if you like collecting NFTs and POAPs, then we'll be happy to give it to you. Aside from that, any closing thoughts on the Rug Zombie project, or announcements, or anything like that you want to add?
I would just say, come join our Telegram community if you're wondering what we do. And I'm not even telling you to come buy our project. Like, our community is really positive. So just come and hang out with us, figure out how to identify rugs, see if we have any of the ones that you already maybe have been rugged by, unfortunately. And just stop by. We're friendly, I promise.
Okay. And what's your
Good
Twitter
zombies.
address?
Yeah, it's it's just the t.me/rugzombie.
Oh, that's Telegram.
So
what's the Twitter handle?
Oh, Twitter handle. It's the same thing. It'd be at rugzombie.
At rugzombie. Okay. All right then.
Yeah.
Well, we'll link all that in the video description, and this will be put up on YouTube and Odyssey and BitChute. And Easy, I appreciate your time, and thank you for jumping up with me live on Theta this early in the morning. And I know it's not everybody's favorite time, but it's my favorite time. So,
Man, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
right on. All right, take care.
You too.
Okay, guys, that was a really fun interview and a really fun project. I appreciate you guys listening, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask either one of us. And yeah, happy Saturday. Get outside, enjoy. Well, in here where I am, it's beautiful weather. So I'm going to get out and enjoy the weather and get away from your computer screen for a little while. But this project is a really good reminder that there are a lot of rugs out there and a lot of bad projects. And yes, this is a great way to retrieve your value, but do you really want it to get to that point? But either way, if you want to invest in some cool NFTs, this is also probably a backdoor route too. So yeah, I don't know. I'm really glad and happy to have been able to interview EZ and get some more insight on this project. I think it's going places, and I can't wait to see where it goes. All right, guys. Well, that being said, let me put on my reggae outro music. I should probably have already put that on anyway. And if you have any questions, hit me up. And if you want a POAP, hit me up. This is POAP number 16. And yeah, I designed this myself. All right. All right. Well, I will talk to you guys later. Oh, and thanks, Metanoia, for jumping on. Randy for jumping on. And new one, ADHI. ID drummer. I can't pronounce that. All right. All right. Well, I'll talk.